This is PUBG, aka PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds. We're on Xbox Series X, taking a look at the game actually running at 60 FPS. Now, there are two options. There's a frame rate, which is what we're playing, and also a performance. The frame rate, that's 1080p at 60 FPS, which is generally a great sort of option in regards to having more competitive and better balanced performance. Then there's also a 4K mode, 3840 by 2160 at 30 FPS, which looks a lot better, but obviously when you're playing this type of shooter, you want the higher frame rate. That's just how it kind of goes for this game. We'll show off both, but I just want to kind of mention that right off the bat so you understand that. So this is also the test server, and what's interesting is I actually get to take a look at this. Well, it's not especially early, but I'm testing out the server because this is what the full release when the Xbox Series X launches is going to actually be, is this update that allows this option. See, it's a backwards compatible game, but they've put forward this, selection to be able to increase the frame rate of the game if you want to play it in this particular way, which I think is great. So when I do these reviews, I actually do a whole review of the game so you can understand what it's like if this is perhaps your first time seeing PUBG. It is a 100-player battle royale game, really the first one that kicked off the genre. It's a premium experience and one of the few that's actually, a completely premium experience. Most of them kind of are free to play these days. That's how you build up an audience. But this one did really well, and it's kind of grown and changed over time. And yeah, it's kind of exciting to see the game running with this fluidity. It's kind of really exciting because it's just very smooth. And yeah, if you are, well, the goal of the game, because you're playing in quads, duos, singles, whatever selection you want. I think they even had threes at one point. They do hoppers too, which are like playlists where things are a little bit different, like deathmatch style, or they do some kind of seasonal events. You get the point of what I mean. They do different things throughout the year to kind of mix stuff up a little bit, keep the action fresh. Oh wow, that is so creepy. I don't remember this mannequin shop. Anyways, you're going down, you're looting, you're shooting, you're trying to survive, you're trying to be the last ones left to get that chicken dinner. Fun little note about that. When the game was first coming out, I actually reviewed it on Xbox, and Xbox sent me a nice little selection of, I guess you could say, marinades and or sauces for stuff, and it's like winner's dinner style, and some stickers, and then like a kind of keychain thing. It was really cool and a little fun thing I thought I'd mention there. But yeah, coming from there and seeing the game today and kind of having even more of a grasp on it at this point, it's really neat to see the changes. So like I had mentioned, hopefully we don't get shot. You can hold start, go to settings, and head over to graphics. So we're frame rates, and we can switch over to resolution, and you can see the change in the visual fidelity. It obviously looks, quite a lot better, but it's a lot slower, and it's not quite as great feeling. So that's what I'm just trying to show off, is the difference between the two. I mean, obviously it's not great losing all the picture quality, but when you're playing a game like this, frame rate really is everything if you want that competitive edge. And I think it's good that they offer the choice, really. It's a nice thing to have, and hopefully in the future they'll add optimization that allows us to maybe do a higher resolution and have that frame rate. We'll have to see. The game's historically has never been very well optimized, so it's interesting to see, kind of it running like it is, where it's actually a smooth frame rate, whereas on like the One X you do the 60 FPS and it's not quite there. I mean, I don't think it's necessarily perfect, but it's unnoticeable that you would have any drops in this mode, at least from just regular play. So another neat little thing to mention, and I guess maybe I should have mentioned this earlier, is it's going to have, well, it has right now, crossplay and cross-gen support. So you can play with your friends if they're on different platforms, if they're on different generations of consoles. I think that's a really good option to help keep the player base alive. Ooh, yeah, I want the M16 instead. And it's just kind of a smart move, in my opinion, for them to do that. I think it was definitely the necessary thing to do to keep the player base alive, and it's a fine option to have in order to, support the groups of players that still play this. So like I was saying, Battle Royale, you drop down. Sometimes it's action-packed, sometimes it's a little bit slower. This is obviously one of those little bit slower matches off the get-go, but things might pick up and get really intense here, so hopefully that is the case, because that's kind of a little bit more fun. UMP or that. Okay. Why am I having trouble switching? There we go. Now we got these both going there. So anyways, yeah, you kind of go in, you kind of hope for the best, you manage your inventory, and then you work towards getting better gear, better tiers of gear. So I have kind of like a level 2 backpack, a level 1 helmet. They give you more armor when you get better stuff. Then there's health things, and it's kind of like a neat health system in regards to, ooh, that was a bit of a nasty drop. So we can actually talk about the health stuff now. So instead of just healing yourself up with bandages, you could use painkillers and say an energy drink in a combination, and that would actually fill up your health bar without you having to use bandages and stuff. Whereas the bandages are more for those deeper, more intense wounds. So that's just something to keep in mind. So the game is also pushing you inwards. That's to keep the action going so that it's not slow the whole way through. I mean, sometimes you drop into a zone and everybody's battling and fighting right off the bat. It happens. You never know what you're going to get when you're jumping in. You kind of pick where you land because you jump down, but you get the sense of what I'm saying. And then this huge thing, it's a blue electric blast thing. You can see it over there. It's coming inwards, pushing us into smaller and smaller circles. Call it like the Maiden, you know, like the Iron Maiden or whatever. And it's just kind of a thing that picks away at you and just forces you to engage with others in a more complex and tighter battle system, which I think just works really quite well. And yeah, I was hoping we'd get a little bit more fast-paced action on this one, but it'll probably happen a little bit later on. So in this mode and this map, so the game has a lot of different maps. You know, there's like a desert one, the traditional map, there's like a snow one. I like this map because it's a little bit smaller. It's also a good test of the performance and the gameplay style that is present within the game, you know. Oh, geez. It's just kind of like a little bit more, I guess you could say, action-packed, and it's also a good test of keeping that fluidity going, which I think is really interesting. So hopefully I'll be able to heal up without getting hurt. I guess I don't have any actual direct band-aids or anything I could throw on myself with bandages. I don't think you have band-aids. But yeah, it's just kind of a neat sort of tactical game. Can be pretty fast-paced. I love the kind of gritty edge this one has too. Picking your fire rates and everything and dealing with that, I think it's kind of fun. So it looks like we're engaging in a bit of a battle here. Jeez, that guy dropped me pretty fast, and none of my teammates are noticing, or good thing that player there noticed and is giving me a hand. Jeez. But yeah, it is about cooperative play and actually working together in order to do well, unless you're playing by yourself, like singles and stuff. Obviously, it doesn't matter quite as much. And you can be a single person, and you can actually end up on top in the game, too, if the situation calls for it. Oh, the guy sent me a med kit. I guess that's to say hello and thanks, or sorry for not watching you get obliterated right behind me, because I kind of saved his life, if you think about it. But, yeah, it's just kind of a neat combat, I think, an engaging one, a fun one, where things are always moving fast, and we're finally getting some good action going here. But notice just, like, how well everything is still running here. I guess I'll go in for the, he's going in for the revive. And you can loot other people. Oh, that guy's dead. So you're always trying to find better items, and usually get these from eliminating opponents as you get it a little bit further in. And then there's cosmetic things, so that's like a microtransactions element, but it's just cosmetic, so it doesn't actually impact anything. They did like a fun thing for like the Joker and Harley Quinn at one point, and just kind of an example. It's not a big deal, it's just like a visual touch in the look. So that's, you know, it is what it is. But I'm glad we're getting a little bit of action in here too, because I've been having troubles on these ones getting a little bit of combat going too, because I want to show that off, right? You know, it's one thing to talk about fluidity and another thing to actually show it battling away there. And then the, you know, connection and ping and everything factors into the combat as well. It's something to keep in mind. But you know, they got a great selection of maps, fun combat. It's something that I think is engaging to a lot of players, and I love the sense that you can just kind of jump in as a party game. Like, you don't have to invest any time into the game. You can have someone that's, works all day, can come home and they'll be exactly even with someone like myself that sits here and plays games all day, right? Because it's my work and it's just how it is. But you're always even, in comparison to like an RPG game where you have to put in those hours to make sure you have the necessary things, right, to be able to play with your friends. So I think this one kind of really hits the mark in that regard, and I think that's kind of makes it a really enticing thing. I also would like to mention that, I don't know if you can still see them, but the red zones are bomb zones. They kind of are random a little bit, push players inwards, another little way of doing that. And there's also these random drops, like airdrops, that come in, and you get like really good gear, like a special gun that you might not be able to find on the map, or some better tier armor. You get like the real juggernaut type stuff. It's kind of fun. And then there's lots of little technical details too. So if you're grabbing a frying pan as a melee weapon, it'll actually cover your butt in case you're getting shot. So you see where the sickle is, there'd be a frying pan actually would block shots from me, which is super helpful. And your armor breaks down. That's why you might have saw me replace my vest there, because I need something with a little bit more health. But yeah, that's kind of really the gist of what the game is. It's a very simple concept, but it's something that is focused and keeps the action and the excitement going the whole time through. I think it's got pretty good density in terms of the environments, but I'd really love to see if they could push a better optimization of the game on the platform. I feel like there's a lot of extra power sitting here that isn't necessarily being used to its full extent, and I'd like to see them kind of try to do that, if you know what I mean. Oh, I got a lot of 7.6. So you also got to like kind of manage your weapon ammo and stuff. It's not too complex, so it's a very basic system of management there, but it is something to keep in mind. And it should start to get a little bit action packed again, because we are getting closer to the end game. There's a lot of players alive for a small spot, but just noticing how like the whole thing has just been running smoothly, rendering well. Especially if you're familiar with PUBG, you might be like, wow, yeah, this is a smooth time. And it's cool to have this option. It really is. Like, it's fair when you're all running at 30 FPS. It's not the biggest deal in the world. Obviously, it feels infinitely better if you can get 60, and I think that's going to be a big target this gen for a lot of games. That 60 FPS, that buttery smooth 60 FPS, even like 120 FPS, which is what I've been playing on some games, which is just groundbreakingly next level. I mentioned vehicles, right? There's a few different vehicle options and stuff you can find. Kind of fun. Change up how you move on the map. Can be deadly. They actually run a lot better too on here. They run a lot smoother. You don't have as much kind of little bumpy performance issues and stuff like that with the vehicles, which I think is nice, because those could cause bodily harm a lot of the time. I think we're looking at something here. But yeah, it's not historically a game that renders. There's the body falling down. That's hilarious. That runs the best. So it's neat seeing it, because there's obviously the potential it could. And we've seen a lot of other Battle Royale games come out, and those ones have been able to, really push the performance of things. So I'd like to see this one do that as well. That's the sun peeking through. And again, like, different maps are pretty cool. I do like the classic one quite a bit, but I think this one might be my favorite, because like the ruin style and stuff like that in the jungle, I think it's just really neat how they did a different type of jungle environment. And I mean, obviously this would look a little fancier if we were pushing the resolution option, but I think if most will agree with me that fluidity is just something you don't want to really give up if you don't have to. I think we're driving a little bit into the action. Stuff's about to heat up here. This is the most action-packed match I think we've had so far. There's actually a good chance of survival and doing well. Let's see. I mean, there's just like so many little strategies once you get to the end game, and I think it's kind of fun. It's like hugging the edges of the circle, being slow, taking your time. It's just a game I've had a lot of fun with over the years, and it's nice to see it continue on like this. See, you get situations like that where they can't handle it well, and they throw you into like a bush or something, you lose all your health. Well, they threw us into a rock head first, which isn't good in the car. I also don't think it's gonna buff out of the vehicle, if I'm being honest. But yeah, let's get that going. So it just tops our health off basically. And it's just like such a tactile, tactical and gritty game. I keep saying tactile today. It kind of is in regards to the style of play, but it's not the phrase I'm looking for. Level 2, awesome. And it sounds like the action is starting to get intense. I wish I had some better scopes though. Wow, we are really blasting people. Jeez. Guess I'll vulture what's left here. I can get a fun wig. It's kind of hilarious. And it's kind of like an easygoing inventory structure too. It's pretty fast paced. There's not a whole lot of management, but you can manage things if you want to. You know, that choice is really entirely up to you and how in depth you want to get with that system. Yeah, it's definitely a little bit of a different battle royale at this point. You know, you see so many these days. I still think it holds its place as being a special one, at least to me. So there's definitely a guy behind that rock, so I'm just kind of seeing what we're dealing with here. Do I not have any other grenades? I didn't pick anything else up. Only the stun. Ow. And I picked up the wig because I thought it was funny. See, this time I'm saving my teammate's life. Ow. That kind of hurt a lot, so we're going to throw on the big med kit because this is a danger situation. We're getting right into the end game here, which is kind of exciting. I didn't think the match would go on this long, but we've only got another 22 players we got to eliminate here, so we're actually kind of well set, strangely, and we're right in the end game circle too, which is a little exciting. Let's see how things turn out, but I don't know where the other player that was shooting at me is from. Well, he was shooting at us from, directional wise. Let's see if he needs anything else I can top up with. It's a stun grenade. Dino land mask. That's funny. See, those cosmetic stuff like that, I don't mind. It's just silly things. And I gotta say, with this new next-gen controller, it's kind of really awesome. The grip and stuff feels great. It truly is a nice little upgrade, and it's something you don't think about because the controller looks kind of the exact same, but there's nice little touch-ups to make it a little bit more refined. So it looks like we're going to try to hug the top of the circle here. Looks like that's going to be our strategy as we get in here. Again, we've only got... Oh, wow, it's dropping down pretty fast. We got 12 other players we got to kill. So we're actually in a really good position to finish strong here, if we're able to take good positioning on this hill and keep things kind of going well. But we've got a team that actually seems to work together, and I think that's important once you get down here. You can have a guy that like really wins it for your squad, but if you can get the combined effort, you know, it obviously makes things a little bit easier. So we're really taking down opponents. Looks like we're hugging the electric field there. So we've only got 6 other players to take out. We might actually get the... Well, I'm not going to jinx it, but it's getting pretty close. Maybe they just threw a grenade at us or something. We kind of lost the hill advantage, which was not smart. But we are still hugging the outside, which is a good thing. And I've got these ridiculous cat ears wig I stole from a dead carcass. That's kind of dark if you think about it. I'm just stealing dead people's clothing that I killed. We do have an advantage if they're on the street there. It's like we got him off in the distance. At this point, I really wish I'd have an AK with like a long distance scope. Usually I get like a 6 times or something like that, but I wasn't so fortunate this match. So there's still a fair bit of playing room, but we are getting pushed in a little bit further. Team's doing a good job of being cautious from multiple angles. And we now have 5 other players that we need to take out. And I do apologize for the extended match. I did not anticipate this part of the review, but it's kind of neat to see where the journey goes. I'm not going to cut it short. So I figure there's like two or three teams left, or 2 teams probably left aside from us, and maybe a person by themselves. Oh, we're really getting pushed now. Looks like an open excavation ending. Kind of hoping for a little bit more cover. Oh, I'm getting shot from the side. Oh, it looks like I'm out of here. I don't know if I'm going to make it into the zone in time. Crawl! Crawl! No! But our team still has the chance to maybe pull out the win. Oh no. We're falling apart. Still 2 left, so it's probably a 2-on-3. It's going to be pretty depressing if they don't clutch it here, but... yeah, I just got kind of blindsided there. Maybe I should have focused on the guy I saw on the left instead of the one on the right, but I wanted to help those teammates out. I'm pretty confident, though. These guys, they got a good kit going. Uh-oh. See, that's one problem with the game, is it doesn't have good, like, I guess sound awareness. And I don't know why that guy didn't revive our teammate there. That would have been the smart play. I think we're going to choke. Unless this guy can make the big clutch play here. I'd say our only hope is if the other team is if there's 2 other teams left. Because it might be like a 1v1, v2 or something. Oh, he got him. Being grenaded. Oh, that's 2. I think he's only got 1 left that he's actually got to kill. It says there's 3 alive, but I think 1 was downed or something. This guy is going for the clutch here. A very strategic first aid kit. He's going to top off his health with the painkillers. It's very smart. Good play. So he's got 2 left that he's got to kill. They're probably on the same team. They're probably going to wait till he draws himself out. He does have a height advantage here, but they very well could be hiding on those other rocks across. And he's making a big play for it. Is he going to try to get the hill advantage? Oh. They're below him. Oh! Oh! He got it! We won! Nice! Got that, was it winner, winner, chicken dinner? Winner, winner, chicken dinner. Nice job, everybody.